Hey everybody, it's Jason and welcome back to my channel. This is the 8th video covering the complete rebuilding of a 1987 Honda XL600R. Today we're going to be putting the front steering stem back in and also the rear swing arm, including the rear shock. I hope you enjoy it, and if you like it enough, I would appreciate it if you would please subscribe. Let's get to it.
This race on the steering stem is very slightly pitted, stained more than anything. So I'm going to do something rather unorthodox, but you know, that's what I do. A little bit of lube. And I'm going to use this brake cylinder hone. Just gotta find the sweet spot where it settles right there. I mean, let's face it, it's a steering thing, not a wheel bearing, right? It's just got to be smooth. Oh yeah, that cleans it up nice. Yep. Still a little bit of staining. It's a very mild hone, but that's gonna be just fine. Barely feel it. Maybe I'll just give it another little hit. We'll call that good. I really hate changing these things, you know, for what they are, unless they're really messed up, which these definitely are not. I hate changing them. Not sure if this bike is ever going to be on the road again, but just the same, it's nice to have it done. Oh yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough. Do the same on the bottom. Just tip this frame over for that. A little bit of white paint in there. See, it's got very fine marks, but they don't, I can't feel them, right? They're more stains than they are anything else. So I'll just do the same thing. I'm gonna give her a quick hone. Good enough for me. Beautiful. Still, it's just a little bit of staining, but you know, the worry here, of course, is these will get so pitted that your steering will stick, right? But that ain't gonna happen. You won't feel that. No way, no how. I can't feel that. Not even a little bit. Okay, this nut that holds the bearings in place here, holds the steering stem in place. The manual says the torque on that is 0.7 to 1.4 foot-pounds, which is essentially nothing. So all we're looking for here is to make sure that it is basically snug. There's no play, just like that. You know, don't put a lot of pressure on those bearings. You don't want it to be too tight, but you know, there's clearly no play, and it's snug, right? There's just no play. Listen to this bearing. There's nothing, you know. There's nothing. That's just for the sake of completeness. I'm gonna slip this top on for right now. So the reasoning behind putting this on first, if anybody's curious, is that I knew I had to flip the frame upside down so that I could hone that bottom bearing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done this until later. I'm not going to bother with the forks right now because they honestly just get in the way. Right now, I've got the bike sitting nice and flat on my lift, so you know the engine should pop in nice and easy. If I have the forks, then the thing's up in the air and out of bounds. And, you know. So that's the only reason I'm putting this on now, is just so I can get access to that bottom bearing. So this nut here only goes down finger tight for right now. If you torque that down, then you have to loosen it to realign it to put the forks in. So for right now, I'm just going to put it on finger tight, and that way I know where everything is. That turns nice, and now I can move on. All right, let's move on to the swing arm here. Got it all kind of assembled so I don't lose anything. Inside there is also a sleeve. Let's see if we can get it out. Okay. Yeah, it's still coated with grease, so why bother? Why bother messing with a good thing? I'll just slip that back in like so, and I will, again, I'll fill it up with grease when the grease gun's out doing everything else. Gotta do my tractor too, so probably do a big grease marathon. Okay. With grease. Get them back on, hopefully. Right on. Do this one too. This is just red bearing grease, nothing fancy. Okay. That on. Looks good. All right, let's see about getting this swing arm in place. Can be a bit of a challenge to get it back in the frame. It's a tight fit, especially after you put a coat of pin on it, you know. I'm going to give the shock absorber a little bit of love here. So there's no mechanical reason to take this apart. This is just to clean it up and make it look nice. I've already gone to the trouble of loosening off the top rings. I had to use a pipe wrench for that because they've been on there for a long time, but they've loosened up now. So all I have to do, unthread this top piece, like so. Okay. And the spring just pulls off. A couple of little pieces of rubber, plastic. Just give that a little cleanup, make it look a lot nicer. Quick hit with some brake clean, just to get grossness off.
So this is not a restoration. This is just what I call a revival or a refresh. So I don't really worry too much about these labels. However, if I can keep them on, I will. And this one seems to be fairly well mounted and in good shape. So I'm not going to take a wire brush or anything to this. I'm just going to leave that on. Some of the other ones, like on the frame, unfortunately had to come off. But, you know, like I say, this bike is not a restoration. You know, if I took it to to Pebble Beach or something, they'd find all kinds of things wrong with it. I mean, it's gonna have the wrong gear tank and, you know, just all kinds of stuff. It's a bike. It's a Honda motorcycle from the 80s. It's not a 1920s Bugatti, you know. It's marks here from the spring. I wonder if Auto Sol get that off. Yeah. Yeah, that looks all right. Let's take a look at this spring. I don't have any blue paint, nor do I really need any. It's not that bad, but I'll give it a little cleanup. You know, I guess there's a little bit of pride in this too, right? If you're gonna do it, it would look, I don't know, I'd feel funny if I didn't go that extra little bit, even if it doesn't matter, even one little bit. Something about doing this kind of stuff makes me appreciate the bike a little bit more and know that I gave it all the love I could within reason. Yeah, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? A couple little black marks. I'm not sure what that's all about. Oh, it comes off. Maybe somebody painted around it. I don't know. Yeah. That looks pretty good. That looks really good, actually. Like I say, until it gets dirty. So this here is a little boot that goes over top of this, just like that. Okay. And as far as I can tell, it's just a rough seal, like just to scrape mud and stuff off in case it gets in there. Like there's no rubber seal in there or anything, although this is some kind of rubber. What I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna bother replacing that. I think I'm just gonna put some of this seal all, which I think does a little bit better job on rubber than RTV. I think I'm just gonna put that right back on like so, and take some black electrical tape, wrap it up nice and tight, and you know, that's gonna have to be good enough. It's not a super critical piece, right? Okay, so this stuff you put on, like contact cement, you put it on both surfaces, like so. Okay. The other thing I like about this is it sets up fast. In RTV, you gotta wait. And then the other part of this, put on the inside of this rubber. Take some of this excess. Now you just, like contact cement, you just let that dry for a minute or two. Put it in place, and it's not gonna move. And here we go. Just on the side, put it on as tight as I can. Push it home as best I can. Right. Yeah, try to fill up that gap. Here. That's the stuff right on. So I can get that gap closed if I pull hard enough. Put some of this on like that. Pull her as tight as possible. Yeah. Wrap it up. Okay, so there it is on. Like I say, I'm pretty sure it's just a mud scraper, whatever. It's on there with that contact cement seal all, and it's on there with that black tape. You know, if I do actually take this thing to Pebble Beach, you know, I'll take the mark down. They might not even notice, right? They might not even notice.
So we have to do now. Slip the spring back on like so. All right, gave that a little hit on the wire wheel just to make myself feel better. Okay, thread it on. Now I have a 30-inch inseam, which means I'm relatively short. And I find these bikes to be just on the edge of tall for me. So I rarely compress this beyond the minimum. Right, just enough so that that spring is under tension. All right, and then I put this lock nut back on like so. Yeah, they're good. Perfect. So on the bottom of the shock, there's this knob with the settings from 1 to 4. There's a punch mark to set the 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is for the dampening effect of the shock. So the lower the number, the softer the dampening. The higher the number, the more stiff the dampening. So that's the rebound, right? The bounce. I'm in my mid-50s, and I kind of like it soft, you know? So I leave it on 1. But if you want to play around with that, you should really feel the difference. Even on these old shocks, they still seem to work quite well. So, you know, feel free to play with that if you've got one of these. Personally, I don't ride these things very hard, and soft is better. Okay, continuing on with our rear suspension. Got these components that link the swing arm to the shock. Clean them as best I could within reason. Tried to get as much of the old grease out as I could. Clean these grease nipples out. So it's going to have to work. If need be, I can pull that back around. Okay, and these sleeves, give them a good start with a little bit of grease. This is all in really nice, good shape, you know, no issues. Good. Yeah, that looks good. And then over here, same thing. Yep, that's nice and smooth. And then there's a couple of caps. I'm just gonna soak these with grease, because really, you can't have too much grease, right? And we'll just clean the excess off a little bit later. All right, good. And these caps go on like so. Okay, same thing over here. Fill this again. First I'll hit the nipples a little later. Okay. And then that goes on like that. There we go. Greased to the nines. That's good for now. So this is the piece that if you wanted to lower your bike, you can get this a little bit shorter. I don't know just how much shorter. It can't be too much shorter. I've often thought about lowering it, but I just live with it. You know, it's not that much too tall. On this one gets its grease nipple. Okay, like so. And then it has a sleeve. I think it's 2 caps. pieces go together. So this comes up like this so that the grease nipple is up on the top, and then that fits in like that so that the grease nipples are here on the bottom. That's just for access purposes. And then the bolt was in this direction, although I can't imagine it really matters that much. Just for the sake of completeness, we'll put it back together the way it came. I painted these nuts and bolts with this product from, I think it's VHT. It's for roll bars and like frame components. And it is the best black paint I've used yet. It is tough stuff. It's not cheap, but of course nothing's cheap anymore. But like, you know, it just used a wrench on there. It didn't even flip the paint, and I just put it on yesterday. So, you know, it's good stuff. Let's just give that another little tighten, just because I can. Okay, good. Yeah, look at that. It doesn't even scratch the paint with the wrenches. That paint's not even 24 hours on there yet. Pretty amazing. Same with these. I painted them. Same with these. I did them yesterday. Yeah, it's good stuff. I remember this now. Yes, I remember there was some screwy thing about the order. It had to be taken care of. All right, I'm good with it. No problem. Okay, that goes through. Now, it'll go in. Come on.
All right, well, that's all the time I had for this week to work on the bike, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, and I once again would say please subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you liked it. I will get back to this probably in the next week or so. I'll try to get this bike completed in the next, I don't know, say month or month and a half. Yeah. Thanks for watching.